Hi guys, so this is my first video in my Back to Basics series. This is going to be all about the face, foundation, concealer, highlighting, contouring, everything. This is my third time filming it. If this doesn't work, I'm going to quit YouTube. What is this? What are you doing there? Oh my god, it's already going all wrong. Okay, now there's a baby screaming outside. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is moisturize. Make sure your face is nice and clean, exfoliated. If you have really dry skin, it really does help, but don't exfoliate too much because that actually can damage your skin. You know, just wash your face nicely so you don't have any like dead skin cells. Moisturize, whatever moisturizer you want. I always use my Farsali Rose Gold Elixir. This is like my third bottle. You can use the code Sharifa if you want to try it out. I have a full review of it. I'll link it below and you can check it out if you're interested. If you're not, it's cool, whatever. But whatever moisturizer works for you, use that. And then after you're nice and moisturized, you want to prime. I used this correcting primer. Use whatever primer. Honestly, I'm not that picky about primers, mainly because I don't really wear my makeup like all day long. I don't really need it to last all day long because I take my makeup off after I film. No, it's only for the tutorials. So I don't really need that, but primer is super important if you're going to be out all day and you want your makeup to last a couple of hours. Definitely use primer. The only way to know which primer is best for you is to try out different primers. That's really it. And this is the part you would color correct. This is the part you would color correct. I don't have really dark circles or hyperpigmentation. By the way, if my lips look swollen and weird, it's because I've been testing out a lip product and it was like hell to take off. So that's why they look like sausages. Yeah, if you have issues with pigmentation, this is the part where you would color correct. Oh, well, after you apply the primer. This is where you would color correct. I don't have that, so I really can't help you. Yeah, I sometimes, you know, I get like tired and stuff. I use a like apricot-y peach colored corrector that helps to brighten my under eyes. If you have really intense ones, you might want to use something a little bit more on the red side, but not exactly red. Sometimes if you use a primer, a corrector that is too dark, like too intense of a color, it can actually show through your foundation, which defeats the whole purpose. You want to, you know, conceal everything, but it actually shows it. So it's actually based on the intensity of your dark circles. I learned that from Jackie Aina. Hey Jackie, what's up? How you doing? I'm actually going to link her color correcting video below. She really knows her stuff. She's a makeup artist. I'm not a makeup artist. I'm not an expert. So I'll link her video below. You guys could check it out if you have those problems. Let's just get straight to them to apply this little tiny little color correcting primer. I think I'm going to get like the big size, but I have like 3 of these, so maybe I'll be cheap and I won't. So I'm going to really work that into my skin. I don't know if you can see, but it has like a slight, it's like a glow. Sorry if my lighting is too bright. I am still working on it, but it's either like too dark and it just makes my skin look really weird, or it's too bright and I look like I'm in a Fair and Lovely commercial. Next thing, oh my god, I massaged my face too much. Now it hurts. Don't. I'm like pissed off that I had to do this 3 times, so I'm taking it out on my face. Don't do that. Is foundation. I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. This is like the only matte foundation that actually works for dry skin. Not everyone. I think some people might have a hard time with this, but it is very mattifying, but yet it still works. You just have to really moisturize your face. That's why I applied a lot of my Farsali Rose Gold Elixir, and the primer that I'm using is actually very hydrating. But I really love this because it has a true yellow undertone and it doesn't make me look ashy or gray or anything like that. It actually makes me look like glowy and brown, which is what I am. This is in the color Caramel Beige. I don't know why I'm holding it like this. Like, there are 2 ways that I usually apply my foundation, either with a brush or with a beauty sponge. I use the Real Techniques beauty sponge. I've never used a beauty blender, but I really love this, so I've never really, you know, I never felt the need to buy the $25 beauty blender when I could just get it for like $6.5. How much are you? Or I use a brush, usually like a dense buffing brush like this one. This is the Real Techniques buffing brush. The difference is the beauty sponge will give you a more natural look and a lighter coverage. If you want something a little bit more a full coverage, use a brush. So I'm going to actually do it on two sides just to show you the difference. Alright, so what I'm going to do is just take a little bit and just start pressing this into my skin. And you want to press and not rub. If you rub, all you're doing is moving around product, and that's not going to do anything. You're just moving it around and you're not really getting that in there, and it's just going to be a waste of product and it doesn't look good. I used to do that. I used to like move around the product and kind of rub my sponge or brush or whatever, and not only would it move around the product and not give an even finish, but it also exfoliates, like micro exfoliates your skin, especially if you have dry skin. It's going to pick up the skin cells, dry skin cells, and kind of like bring them to the top and make you look flaky and gross. So don't do that. So I'm just pressing this in. I have a full My Favorite Foundations video. I'll link that below. It's all drugstore. It's also foundations and concealer. So I just applied a light amount. I'm just going to apply one layer to this side, just because I'm going to be adding a couple layers of makeup. I don't want it to be too much. Don't forget your neck. I'm not picking my nose, by the way. I'm scratching it right here. I'm not picking my nose. Okay, so for the brush, same thing. I'm going to load it on the brush and just push that into my skin. Make sure you get into your hairline, but not your hair. We're going to move on to concealer. I'm going to be using this LA Girl Pro Concealer in Pure Beige. Use whatever concealer. Again, that video has my favorite concealers, but this is one of my favorites, and I like this because it's, you know, has like yellow in it, and it's medium coverage. Okay, so I'm just applying it in strokes, like little strokes. I'm just going to press that into my skin. Now, one of the mistakes I used to make before was applying way too much concealer at once. So, you know, if you want really like full coverage under your eyes, then, you know, apply more layers. But the first layer shouldn't have too much, like you shouldn't apply too much product all at the same time. It's just going to be really hard to blend, and it's also going to make your under eyes crease really like a lot. So just apply a thin layer first, blend that, and then if you see you want more, just apply a little bit more. But you know, if you want like full coverage under your eyes, just get a full cover concealer, but don't apply like a lot of just like a medium coverage concealer. You know, just get a full coverage right away, and make sure you always blend out the edges. Sometimes I used to leave it just like, I used to blend, but there used to be like a harsh line where my foundation was and where my concealer was, especially if your concealer is a lot lighter than your skin. If you like the really bright under eye look, blend, blend, blend. Just make sure you blend out the edges. You want it to look like your concealer and foundation are all together. Okay, and I'm just going to set my under eyes, but just over here, because I'm going to be applying contour, cream contour here. So I'm just loading up this brush. This is my Anastasia contour kit in light medium. I'm taking Banana. Our alternative to this is the NYX, not here, the NYX HD Powdered Banana. I'm afraid of my house. It scares the bejesus out of me. Setting that, this brush is the Morphe M438 brush. I really like this for setting the under eyes. Okay, so I'm sure you can tell the difference. Set your under eyes, guys. I used to not set it. If you look at my like first videos and stuff, I rarely set my under eyes because I was really afraid of powder because I'm so dry. But honestly, you just need the right powder. This is really great if you have dry skin. And yeah, you just need the right powder, and you just need to know where to apply it. I don't apply powder all over my face because of my dryness, but under eyes is super important because you definitely want it to not crease and you want it to look really flawless. So like I can already see it in my viewfinder. You know, this part is, it's fine, but this is like super like, you know, like it's just smooth and nice. So it's really important to apply. So I'm just getting that in there. I'm actually gonna push it against my nose. You don't have to do this. It's just excuse me. This is just a reversed contouring. I don't know if that's what it's really called, but I like to do this instead of like regular contouring because I feel like it slims my nose just a little bit without it being obvious. So you see the under eyes are set. If you have oily skin, I would definitely recommend you set your under eyes, but also set your T-zone, you know, your forehead, your chin, down the bridge of your nose, just like that whole area. Set it, or even like your whole face. Set your whole face. But if you do have oily skin and you're going to be setting your whole face, apply your cream products first and then set everything. But I'm only going to set my under eyes because I am dry. Sometimes I do apply powder to my forehead and my chin just to brighten those areas up, but I'm not going to today. You can totally skip this step. This is going to be, I'm going to cream contour. You can totally skip this step if this is too, if this is too dramatic or too, it's just like too much for you. So yeah, totally you can skip this step if you don't like the extreme contoured look. That's totally okay. Every other step I would recommend doing, but this you can definitely stop. I don't think this is really necessary. I mean, people were, I never even heard about contouring up until like a couple years ago anyway, but for the purpose of the video, just to show you, if you are interested, I will contour. So you want to contour from the top of your ear to your mouth, and you have to be aware of your own face. It all depends on your own face, okay? So contour is, wherever you contour, that's where you kind of are trying to reduce, like, yeah. Like when I'm contouring here, so I'm trying to reduce this part to kind of shape my face a little bit more. And highlight is wherever you want to make your face look a little bit more wide. So if you do want, if you have like a really maybe slim face and you want to widen it a little bit, you can take this highlight all the way up here, just like to make it a little bit wider, and just apply the highlight on your forehead, like all of your forehead, to make that look wider. If you have a large chin, don't highlight. But if you have a small chin, you could add a little bit of highlighter to maybe put a little bit more emphasis on that. If you want to contour your jawline, maybe it's not that sharp, or you just want it to be more defined, you could contour there. As you see, I don't need to do that because, like, I mean, this is like a dude's jawline. I'm just gonna contour along here, and again, same thing with the concealer. Use a tiny bit of product and then build if you want more intensity, but always start off little. If you apply a lot of contour, if you apply a lot of this, you're just gonna have the toughest time blending. You're just gonna blend and blend until it becomes like a blotchy mess. So especially with this product, a little bit goes a long way. So I'm just going to first do this. You can also look for the hollow, and that's where you can apply the contour, whichever method works for you. But yeah, okay, and that's totally enough. That might be even too much. And I'm just gonna, I just like to leave it up here. You can bring it down just a little bit more, but don't bring it all the way to your mouth, because that's just gonna be really obvious. So I mean, nothing about this is subtle, but you don't want it to look like you have like brown lines going down your face. So I'm going to use this Real Techniques contour brush and slowly blend in small circular motions. Another thing I used to do that I recommend not doing is blending it all over the place. You don't want to do that because you're trying to keep the blending in your contour area. Okay, if you blend all over the whole, you know, putting it at a certain place, it defeats that purpose. So don't blend in big circles, and don't use like a giant brush to blend. Just small circles. I'm barely touching because I don't want it to look muddy or patchy. And just slowly, like I'm barely touching right now, and I'm keeping it in that contour area, and I'm just blending. And I want the end to be just kind of diffused. I'm actually going to take the product that I have here and just apply it to the sides. You can just apply extra, but I have extra product on here, so I'm just going to apply this to the sides just to define my temples, this temple area. You can also do it up here, but I personally just don't like doing that, so I'm not going to. So you want to diffuse that line, and you want it to, you know, look really blended, but you still want it to be in that contour area because that's the whole point, you know, you're trying to define something. Especially if you're my skin tone and you use like a, you know, really dark contour and you're just applying it all over the place, you're just gonna look like you're burnt. So now for the powder, you definitely want to set if you use cream. So I'm gonna take, let me see, you know, I'm like sure it's right here in front of me, but I just can't see it. Okay, oh, it's right there. So I'm going to take the lightest color, I believe this is Fawn, tap off excess, and just set that. I'm going to do the same motions that I did with the cream. You can see my face. Hey, what's that? If you want to define your contour a little bit more, again, this is optional, but what you can do is go back with your under eye setting powder and just kind of chisel out the bottom. You can use something like a translucent powder or like a loose powder. It's a little bit more like, it's gonna be a little bit more obvious, but it depends on what you like. If you want something like really intense and you want it to look like, you know, you really contoured your face, then, you know, go for that. But I like this. I feel like it's not too obvious. It's all based on preference. That's that. Blush is pretty simple. I'm going to take this one right here. This is Milani Big Blush in Red Vino. This is a Morphe M436 brush. Okay, and the same thing with everything else. Apply a little bit at a time. If you apply too much, you're just going to have a really hard time blending. So apply a little bit and apply to the apples of your cheeks right here, and you just want to blend upwards. Try not to bring in like too much all around, just right there. And blend it upwards. This is like an intense blush, so a little bit of this goes a long way. So, blush is pretty intense. And then for highlight, I'm going to use this NYX highlighter in Ritualistic, this one right here. This is a Sigma brush. This is Sigma Tapered Highlighter F35. I'm going to take just a little bit. And highlighter goes right where the light would hit, so like right there. You can apply some here also, just like bring it up. I like to not bring it too close to the mouth, just keep it right there above the blush. Basically where the light would hit it. And you want to just keep it there. And again, remember like the zones, I guess, that's for highlighting, so keep it there. Don't move around too much. That's something I used to do. I used to just kind of move everything and just apply things to my face without really you know, understanding the placement. Placement is really important, so you don't want to just apply things just to apply things. You want to really look at where you're applying, because that makes a huge difference. And then a last step is totally, it's optional, but I recommend doing it. Take a brush. It can have some powder on it that's the color of your skin. If you are oily, you know, go ahead and do it. If you're dry, I recommend maybe not doing it. I like to just use a clean brush, and I just kind of sweep everything together very lightly, just so everything is blended, especially like up here with the contouring and everything. Very lightly, because I'm not trying to move any product. I just want everything seamlessly blended. And that's it. I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover, but if you still have any questions, just leave them below. And the first of my Back to Basics series, I want to do a whole series of it, just, you know, like eyebrow basics, eyeshadow basics, how to apply lipsticks, winged eyeliner basics, all of the everything. I just want to break down a whole like makeup routine into different videos, just to help any beginners out there, or just anyone who really wants, maybe is having problems in a certain area and just wants to learn that more. But yeah, I hope this first video goes well, and if, you know, if I see that you guys are finding it helpful and enjoying it, I'm definitely going to be posting the next videos soon. So yeah, again, I hope you guys enjoyed. My battery's dying just in time. Okay, bye bye.